Welcome to today's Amazon Seller Masterclass. If you have ever opened Amazon and wondered how those top-selling products ended up there, and more importantly, how much profit they are making, you are in the right place. In this training, I am going to take you deep into the world of Helium 10 and show you exactly how to uncover high-profit, low-competition products to sell on Amazon. This is not just about clicking a few buttons. It's about mastering a process that can transform a simple idea into a winning product. So let's dive straight in. Helium 10 is like having a professional treasure hunting machine right at your fingertips. It lets you build a refined list of potential products based entirely on your chosen criteria, helping you uncover golden opportunities with strong sales potential and the perfect balance between demand and competition. Before we begin, make sure you have two things ready. First, a Helium 10 account. They offer different plans, but if you want full access to every tool I'll be demonstrating, I highly recommend the Platinum plan. Second, you'll need the Helium 10 Chrome extension. Go to the Extensions page, click Add to Chrome, and follow the setup steps. This extension is not optional. It's an essential tool for accurate product analysis. Now, let's move into the first stage of product research, discovering fresh, profitable product ideas. My go-to tool for this is Helium 10's Black Box. Think of it as Amazon's massive product database, but far more powerful because of the filters you control. In simple mode, you can choose your marketplace, product categories, price ranges, monthly revenue targets, and competition levels. For those seeking precision, like me, advanced mode is the way to go. In my own business, I focus on the United States marketplace and select categories that come with fewer operational headaches. I avoid clothing, shoes, and jewelry because of constant size and color variations that lead to higher returns. Electronics and phone accessories are off my list too, as they break easily, are expensive to replace, and are difficult to improve. I also avoid edibles, lotions, and creams due to liability risks, and I stay away from toys and games because of strict regulations, fierce competition, and short life cycles. When setting filters in Helium 10, I usually look for products with fewer than 300 reviews to avoid saturated markets. For review ratings, I sometimes leave the field empty, but occasionally I set it between 3.5 and 4 stars to find products that sell well despite lower ratings. I keep bestseller rank blank at first for a wider search. For size and weight, I target standard size products under 2 pounds to keep shipping costs and Amazon fees low. I also exclude keywords related to clothing, like men's and women's, and filter out large brand names such as Nike and Adidas. As for competitor filters, I leave them at default. If I'm unsure about any filter, I use the built-in hover tips to understand it fully. For pricing, my sweet spot is $15 to $50. Products under $15 usually leave razor-thin margins after fees, while products over $50 often reduce impulse purchases. Right now, the $30 to $50 range is especially profitable. Strong margins and less competition from new sellers. Finally, for monthly revenue, I target between $6,000 and $18,000. This range is ideal for sellers working with 10 to 20% profit margins. Products with extremely high sales are often dominated by big, established brands, and I prefer to steer clear of those traps. I set my minimum monthly sales to 300 units, and here's why. Even at a modest profit of just $5 to $10 per sale, that adds up to $1,500 to $3,000 in profit every single month from just one product. I leave the other filters as they are, but I use a little trick I have learned over the years. Avoid round numbers in your filters. For example, instead of setting the price to exactly $30, I will set it to $29.68. This small change can reveal products that other sellers completely overlook. Once my filters are set, I hit search and watch the results roll in. If the list is too long, I adjust my price range or tweak a few other filters to narrow it down. Another little secret I use is that I do not always start browsing from page 1. I jump to the later pages where overlooked products often hide in plain sight. My attention goes straight to items I do not immediately recognize, something unusual or unexpected. These are often hidden gems that are far less competitive yet just as profitable. Once I spot a potential product idea, I dig deeper for information Amazon won't openly share. Helium 10 presents this hidden data in an easy-to-read format, making it simple to decide if the product is worth pursuing. If it passes my checks, I track it to observe its sales trends, demand, and competition over time. For example, I once came across a 3-pack collapsible colander basket set. It looked ordinary at first, but when I checked the data, I was stunned. The product had completely sold out, which for a beginner can actually be a golden opportunity. Before running out of stock, It was selling an average of 12 units a day, sometimes even more. At $30 each, that was around $8,000 in monthly revenue, and the best part is that it had only 26 reviews. Even better, you could source it from Alibaba.com for as little as $2 to $3 per set. As I kept scrolling for more hidden treasures, another winner appeared in the form of nail polish sets. One listing offered 6 bottles in a set for $26, and it was an absolute profit generator. Lightweight, probably under 1 pound, with only 266 reviews and selling 20 units per day on average. A quick check with the Helium 10 extension showed about $17,000 in monthly revenue. For something as straightforward as nail polish, those numbers are incredible. This is exactly why I always recommend building a large, well-researched list of potential products, rather than stopping at 1 or 2 ideas. My personal goal is to find at least 10 to 20 strong options, then head to Alibaba.com to check supplier prices and quality. One of my current favorites is eyelash extension glue. I found it using Helium 10, and it ticks every box on my winning product checklist. It sells for more than $15. It is tiny and lightweight at under 3 pounds, and it sits in a niche that is not overcrowded, which means a real chance of ranking on the first page. On Amazon, ranking on page 1 is not optional. It is survival. The numbers are staggering. The current seller moves between 250 to nearly 300 units a day. The sourcing cost is just $2 to $3 per unit from Alibaba.com. When I ran the data through Helium 10's X-ray tool, it showed around $170,000 in monthly revenue from this single product. That is nearly 8,000 units a month and well over $1 million in annual sales. What makes it even more impressive is that the seller has built an entire range of lash-related products. When you do the math, that product line alone could easily generate over $1 million in profit. This is the kind of scale you can achieve when you find a product with consistent demand and then strategically expand the range. But remember, none of this is luck. It only works if you follow the correct research process and know how to accurately evaluate whether a product is truly worth selling. Once I have chosen a product, such as the eyelash extension glue, my next step is to go straight to its ASIN, which is Amazon's unique product identifier. You can think of it as a fingerprint for every listing. No 2 products share the same ASIN, and knowing it allows me to run a deeper analysis. I copy the ASIN and head to Google to search for the Amazon FBA calculator. This tool removes all the guesswork and gives me a clear picture of the profit margins. For example, if the selling price is $21, I enter that into the calculator, then add the product cost of $3 and an estimated shipping cost of 40 cents. The results show a net margin of 45%, which is well above my personal target of 35%. In plain numbers, that is about $9.59 profit per sale. Now multiply that by over 7,000 units sold each month, and you are looking at $70,000 in profit from a single product. With those numbers in hand, I head to Alibaba.com and search for eyelash extension glue, setting my maximum price filter to $4. One of my golden rules is to filter for suppliers who have been on the platform for at least 5 years, because experience matters. I then contact multiple suppliers, request samples, and evaluate the quality before making any sourcing decision. The next step is what separates good sellers from great ones: evaluating category competitiveness. A product might look promising, but if the category is oversaturated, ranking on the first page can become a costly uphill battle. On Amazon, if you are not on page 1, you are practically invisible. This is where Helium 10 Cerebro tool becomes my secret weapon. I paste the ASIN into Cerebro, click Get Keywords, and let it generate every search term that the product is ranking for. For beginners, this step might feel overwhelming, but this is exactly how you build a long-term business, by understanding what truly drives visibility and sales. I set my filters to a minimum search volume of 500, a maximum of 100,000, and a word count between 1 and 15. This usually leaves me with around 30 to 35 high-value keywords. From there, I sort by search volume to identify the strongest opportunities. For example, the keyword lash glue for eyelash extensions gets about 16,000 searches each month. To rank on the first page for this term, you would need to sell approximately 45 units per day for 8 consecutive days. The CPR, or Cerebro product rank, figure shows the exact number of units needed within that time frame to secure a page 1 position. My magic number is anything under 100 units, as it is both realistic and achievable. In this case, the eyelash extension glue passes the test with ease. With the right launch strategy, you could dominate not just one keyword but several, such as eyelash extension glue and lash glue for eyelash extensions, giving you a strong and lasting position in the market. That is the beauty of a well-researched product. It is not just about selling an item, it is about building a strategic position that competitors will find extremely difficult to break. If you come across a product that meets all of your analysis criteria, or at least comes reasonably close, your next move is to shift into product tracking mode using Helium 10. This stage is incredibly important because the market can change quickly between the moment you first discover a product idea and the point where you're ready to make that final payment to begin manufacturing. I've been through this myself. You might spend weeks, even months, moving forward with what looks like a solid product idea, only to watch the market shift unexpectedly. Maybe the demand starts to drop. Maybe a niche that was booming just a short while ago suddenly loses momentum. Sales dip so low that the product is no longer profitable. When that happens, pushing forward no longer makes sense. And this is exactly the kind of shift you need to spot early. The sooner you notice it, the sooner you can change direction or even walk away entirely before you've committed too much money into something that might fail. In my own experience, tracking saved me from making a costly mistake. I avoided investing in a product that, looking back, would have struggled right from the beginning. So, how do you track a product? It's simple. Monitor the niche every single day to make sure it's still strong. If you want to track specific listings, especially the top sellers, Helium 10 makes that easy. In the X-ray tool, just mark the listings you're interested in and click on Track Competitor. Once you've done that, all the tracked products will be listed clearly in your Helium 10 product list. Here's a tip. Don't just watch the top performers in the niche. Pay attention to the newcomers too. Track the fresh sellers who are just entering the space and observe how well they do. This will give you a much clearer picture of how competitive the niche might become by the time you're ready to launch. Sometimes you'll realize that the space is heating up fast and breaking in may be far tougher than you expected. The key takeaway is simple. Never assume that a good product idea will always stay good. Keep tracking right up until you've fully committed, which usually happens when you send in your inventory payment. Until that point, you still have the freedom to back out and protect your investment. That's how you can use the products section or the product database inside Helium 10 to make smarter and safer decisions. For beginners, this continues to be one of the most powerful tools for launching your product research journey the right way. Of course, this isn't the only way to discover winning products. In fact, there's no single method that's entirely right or wrong. Some sellers succeed by diving into niches they already understand well. These might be hobbies they're passionate about, everyday problems they've personally dealt with, or products they've loved and used for years. One truly inspiring example is Bella Lynn, the young entrepreneur behind Guinea Loft. Around the age of 12, Bella faced a common but frustrating problem at home. Cleaning her guinea pig cages was messy, tedious, and time-consuming. But instead of accepting it as just part of pet ownership, she chose to solve it. She began sketching new cage designs, pouring her creativity into finding a better solution. Through determination and constant refinement, she brought her ideas to life and eventually launched Guinea Loft on Amazon. Her store wasn't just selling cages. It offered elegant acrylic enclosures for small pets, disposable cage liners, feeding tools, and cleaning accessories. Every product was designed to solve the exact challenges she had experienced herself. That's the advantage of working within a niche you know deeply. You understand what customers struggle with, you recognize the gaps, and you know how to create something that truly stands out. When you pair that kind of personal insight with the right tools, your chances of success increase dramatically. Helium 10 is one of those tools that can take your product research to the next level. It doesn't just make the process faster, it gives you solid, measurable data to support your decisions, helping you move forward with confidence instead of relying on guesswork. So whether you're carefully tracking trends or building something straight from your own passion, the key is to stay flexible, well-informed, and open to change. Markets shift. Customer preferences evolve, but with a clear strategy and the right tools, you'll always be ready to respond. If this video helped you, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment below, and share it with others who might benefit. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss what's coming next. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll take your Amazon selling journey even further.